Hello everyone. This is kind of an informal video, but more of a useful video. And this is for those Bionicle people who own this set, Mask Maker vs. Skull Grinder. And what I have here is, of course, you can see I have Skull Grinder and Ikimu. And the point of this video is to address a problem and fixing it. Now, Ikimu is not really relevant in this video, so I'm just gonna take him out. We're really mainly focusing on Skull Grinder. And if you haven't seen the review for this set, it's out already, so go check out the review first before watching this video. And yeah, so for those of you who may know, who own this set, you may know this problem, and it is that the Skull Grinder's gear system is not functioning the way it should be due to the huge weight on his staff. It's really heavy that it is completely messing up his whole gear system. And you can see when you try to put him in like a cool pose, like he's holding up the staff and you let go, gravity will just do its part and just let it fall. And we all know, and we all like to pose our figures, and posability isn't really working well with Kulta here because of his ridiculously heavy staff. And the problem is that there's not enough gears and there's not enough friction needed to counter the overall heaviness of the staff. So, thanks to Jangbricks, this isn't my idea, by the way, this is off his video, so go check that out, the link is in the description, but I will just show you here. But the way he did it is actually pretty simple and very straightforward. So what you need is two items. Number one, 4 of these tiny little gear wheels, the same wheels you get when you create these Bionicle figures in their gear systems. You just need an extra 4, and maybe go through your extra parts bin or any like old Technic sets you may not like anymore and you want to take apart, then get these pieces. 2 is the bare minimum, but if you really want to achieve good solid friction, go for 4. Okay, so 4 of this, and then next thing you're going to need is 4 of this, your everyday Technic pins with the axle on one side and the pin on the other side. Doesn't have to be blue, can be black if you're old school enough to remember this. But yes, you're gonna need 4, and it's an everyday piece, so this shouldn't be hard to find at all. I'm pretty sure you're gonna have extras lying around from your sets. But what you're going to do is you're gonna first attach these together like this. Just create 4 of these for now. I think the maximum is 4, but for the minimum, you're gonna need 2. Okay? So if you're that desperate and you don't have enough of these pieces, I brought Ikimu in the mix because Ikimu actually has a lot of friction, too much friction almost. So if you're really desperate, you can take off 1 of his 3 gears and just keep 2. Minimum is 2. But if you're really desperate, then take 1, okay? But I wouldn't advise it. I'd rather have you keep Ikimu as pure as he already is. So now that you've got all 4 of these gears attached, now what you're gonna do is, this is the problem, okay? So there are only 2 gears here within the arm here, and there's not enough friction in here that is needed to keep his arms be able to hold the weight of the staff. This side is not that affected, but I advise, that's why I said minimum 2, because you're going to want to attach 1 extra gear on each side to not screw up the balance of the gear system. So first things first, take 1 and attach it right here. So choose between left or right, but in this case, if you have 4 like me, you can attach on both sides. So like that, you put that in there, which now has a little bit more friction, okay? But that's the bare minimum. So you do the same thing on this side to keep the balance, and just gotta match it up if you can match it up. There you go. Okay, let's test it out now. So you can see there is a little bit of friction, but you can see it still tends to slowly lean down. I don't know if you can catch it, but doesn't mess up the whole gear system. You can still turn it normally and it will still function the way it intends to. But let's see, will gravity still play its part? In fact, it does, but it already helps to the point where you look, it's not falling. You can keep it up, you can actually hoist it in a good position. Let's move this up, and there you go. You can see the staff is moved up, but it tends to slowly drag itself just because of the natural weight. So 2 is the bare minimum. Now, to really ensure that there is good friction on the staff, go for 4 pairs. That's why I have an extra 2 here. And it's very straightforward. Just attach on the other side. That way, you will get the maximum amount of friction. If you really want to go crazy, then attach 2 more gears on the top 2 holes. But I wouldn't advise it because it will just cram up all the gears, and then to the point where you can't even move the arm when you turn the gear system. But we're going to attach this side just quickly. This is the last side we're going to do. Put that in there. And it even has a space for it too. So now let's really test out his. Let's move this all the way up. Okay? And now let's see. Let's do something like this. Alright. There you go. That is how you fix his staff. Now look at it. I'm not attaching anything. It's just thanks to those extra gears, he now has more friction, and he can actually hold his staff up the right way without gravity dragging it back down. And I think this should have been what this set originally has been. The designers messed up one thing on Culta here, and that is they did not make enough gears for a good friction to support this really heavy staff. It wouldn't hurt adding just a few more gears. In terms of value, it ain't gonna even cost that much. So that's something they should have done in the past, but unfortunately they didn't. So if you have extra gears and you own Skull Grinder, for your benefit to enjoy this figure, go with the flow. Thanks to Jangbricks again for this solution, and please, to make a better experience for you playing with this figure, use those gears and really ramp up the friction on the arms. Now, it is vitally important that you do it for both sides, okay? That way you can have a good balance of the figure. Now, you might be wondering, wait, there's so much friction, can you even turn the gears? You actually can, in fact. The gears are still turning pretty normal. There's just a little bit, it's a little bit stiffer now due to the amount of friction, but you don't really have to put a lot of effort into turning this really hard. The most important thing is that gravity isn't messing up the staff. And now you can make some pretty neat poses, like for example, let's do this. There you go. He's now like hoisting the staff up or bringing it forward. Let's do something like this. Bring it up. There you go. Look at that. Now that is a good pose, and that should have been what it should have been, like this from the start. And yeah, so again, if you found this tip useful, go for it. It is for your own benefit and for your Skull Grinder to make him a better figure. Kind of sound like I'm doing an ad here, but it's merely just a tip for your own entertainment. So now you can basically mimic the same pose as Ikimu, because Ikimu has plenty of friction, you can see. I'm not even attaching that, but yeah, there we go. So that is how to fix Skull Grinder's intense staff gear movement thingy. I don't even know how to say it anymore. But if you found this video useful, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. And if there are any more Lego problems, I will be sure maybe if I can solve them. But here's one of them. So hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you again, Jangbricks, for the idea. The video is in the description, so go check that out. And that's it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed. We'll talk to you again in the next one very soon.